Welcome back to my channel. We are live. So we are going straight to the program. I would not like to waste much time because we're trying to make the video to, as small as we can to make sure that it will be easy for people to watch. I don't want to have a long video, but if the need comes, why not? So, but here, you can see the title. We are going to listen to missionaries, that those missionaries that were in Nigeria to witness the bias of our people, how they buy our people in in 1966. Okay, so these are things that we are going to look into in this program, and we will hear from people's comment from the source of the where I got the video from. Some people have made a comment about it. Why I'm bringing this one is because many of us don't really know what we want, and we don't. Some of us don't even know where we're coming from. Ndị Igbo na-ekwu sị na onye na-anọghị ebe ndị n'ozu na-abụ ọchọ ịbụ ya obido n'ụkwụ, meaning that what you don't know is bigger than you in a nutshell. So we cannot pretend that we know everything that happened in the past. But what we can do to help ourselves is to pay attention to the information that is out, any information that we can lay our hands on, to analyze it, to see why we are where we are today, where we have gotten it wrong, what happened, what is going on, why are we facing what we are facing today, and the propaganda is, should I say, is normal, but one thing about it is that once people are doing propaganda against you, it is your duty to come out and put the record straight. Okay, otherwise people will run with it and they will turn it to become history. So the best person to tell your story is you. You don't want people to tell your story. If people narrate your story, they will turn it upside down and you are going to bear the consequences. And if you keep quiet for long, they will make it to be real, like that is how it is. Most people believe that whatever they read on social media, or maybe in Google or in Wikipedia or any other search engines, that is the truth. I have seen many people claiming that Igbos are the one. In fact, they are the problem of Nigeria. I have seen people saying that Ojukwu started the war because of his selfish interest, and I don't know what could be his selfish interest they're talking about. What do they even think that he will gain by going for war? If not that Master Megano managed to give some explanation and detailed analysis of what happened in Aburi, some of us believed that actually that what happened in Aburi is that Ojukwu did not accept what the agreement they reached out there. In fact, they don't even want to tell us that the agreement, what they went there to discuss, is actually restructure that people are not shouting for. And those things that happened in the past happened because our people were unable to lay hands on media and where they can tell their stories. Just like what PM said, that now is not like before. So when people have access to tell your stories, you are gone. You have to bribe them, you have to please them, you have to do everything to make sure that they narrate your story the way it should be. But in a situation whereby you have access to tell your stories, people are not going to manipulate that. And just for a reminder, today is Martin court case. We will do our best to touch that if necessary, or in our next broadcast, because the court case and everything is still on. I don't want to come here to pretend that I have somebody that is in the court giving me the update on what is going on in the court. No. And I don't want to come here to bore you with Mazakan is in court case today. What do you think that will happen or no? I have to come out to give you the real facts and what has happened which the information are not yet matured for us to use that to do the broadcast. So some of you may be wondering why am I even talking about this program now instead of talking about mass organos that are having court case today. Just I'm saying it for records purpose so that you understand that Mazda court case is it's ongoing. So we cannot come out here to start telling you that this is what judge says, this is the outcome. This is no. You have to wait for them to finish. Then you can have access to what happened, the outcome, and everything. Then you can put the analysis and analyze it and tell people what you think, and they can share with you what they feel about it as well. Godwin, I see you. Good afternoon, brother. Good afternoon to you. And Erin, our sister, she has been she always here with us, and I really appreciate that, my dear. Thank you so much. You said greeting to Biafrans. The greeting to Biafrans. The has fallen. Shared. Okay, I think what you are talking about, Nigeria has fallen, and message. Share the message. Go viral. Thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So please don't forget to thumbs up, like the video. Uh, if you join me, please click on the like button. It's very important. We are 14 people watching in 6 minutes, and nobody have managed to like this video. Nobody. So please do your best to support the stream by liking the video. Or like I always said, that is the cheapest way you can support is sharing the video and like. If you want to go extreme, super chat. But here we are going straight to the program. We are not going to waste much time. So we have spent some time to lay the background of this video. So now, this video, we are going to pick it one by one. And the only reason why I want you to listen to this video, one of the fact, not the only, that's the major reason. It could be the another reason, but this is the major one. Many of us don't know that our people were massacred. Some people think that when you hear massacre, they think, oh, that happened during the war. No, the war has not started. The massacre of people in Jos, and Jos happened to be Christian-dominated area. So people that were massacred Igbos, basically, you can say fellow Christians, and missionaries were there, and they witnessed what happened. Despite the propaganda that because Igbo people, they supervised the coup, and they killed the white people and all that. That the coup happened because of Igbo people in Nigerian army and all that. But the list has come out from Michael Zuckerman. There's a video that Michael Zuckerman played, that I shared it here, where he was telling people that what happened. I think he was saying, making that video. He was making that speech in somewhere in US when he visited the Igbo people in US. At, when he was still carrying himself as a Lego team. This, what do they call it? They said they called him a leader of Lego team of Mazanogan and all that. That's the name they call them. So this man were telling people that he was mentioning names of officers that were involved, and there's no justifiable reason or point to conclude that this coup happened because people want it to happen. Okay, the only thing that anyone can complain about is that after that coup, after that the coup, after they buy some people from other part of the country, and some of the people that were mapped out from Igbo nation, I think the information were leaked. They were unable to buy them, so that is the point. But if Nigeria happen to be a country, maybe they regard everybody as probably one, they really want to include everybody, considering the fact that they want to have, the labor of their heroes, which Igbos played a great, major role, if not greater role, to make sure that Nigeria and the unity of Nigeria and that everybody become one. So why do they choose to revenge that by buying people in numbers? The massacre, you will see the facial expression of those missionaries. That is to tell you they saw hell. Okay, they saw hell. White people, that are not even blacks, were too emotional, even at this present age, because they are elderly people at the moment. This could be the young, they were maybe very young in their early 20s, when they were working as a missionaries and all that. So this is the video here that we are going straight to talk about. Okay, so we will talk about this video now, and I want you, like I said, I want this video to be short a bit. I don't want it to be too long, but we'll see how we can manage it. What happened?
Keep this information. Days we felt strongly that we should keep this information away from students. I see it now when I look at it as a lost opportunity, but it would have been well if I had taken a different position, but I understand well why I did what I did.
As missionaries and MKs returned home for furlough, college, retirement, they still share.
Okay, you can see how young these people are. You can see them here. I think this is early 20s, so some of them are 1918. All right, let me take it back. So you understand that they worked as missionaries. They were very young during that time. And look at them now. Look at one of them now. But pay attention to what actually happened.
It would have been well if I had taken a different position, but I understand well why I did what I did.
Now, look at it. You see them here. You can see how young they were. You can see that there were missionaries in Nigeria then during the massacre. Now, she said that she understand why she did what she did. Then what is that she did? Refusing to tell the stories of how Igbo people were massacred in Jos. Then after watching this, I will still share with you the title that this person gave, because the person that shared this video is actually from the north, a Muslim guy, using that to do propaganda. But you know them now. When they want to do propaganda, they expose themselves from the more. So it's not as if I got this video from a fellow Biafrans. No, these are from the northerners using it to make nonsense posts against Igbos. But we are going to, see the real meaning of the video.
As missionaries and MKs returned home for furlough, college, retirement, they still shared little about what happened in Nigeria in 1966.
Even when we have gone to speak in churches, I don't think we've made.
Excuse me. Sorry about that.
Anything about the genocide.
People kept it to themselves because of the fact that I don't think they wanted to bring out a bad memory.
You see the reason? They hide all these things that happen to Biafrans, to Igbos, because they don't want people to bring back the bad memories. But that thing they decided to hide is what is eating us up today.
And it was a very bad memory of what happened.
It was painful to remember, and you didn't like to speak so much in terms of the sensational, and it was a really wild experience. People find it difficult to understand, and you had to explain so much about it.
I don't think I ever talked about what happened in Jos. It's not something you want people to know much about, I would think, especially if you're speaking to a women's group and you want support for your mission group. I couldn't understand why, when I would talk about some of the things, I would get a blank stare or a stifled yawn.
Well, I mentioned it to my daughter when I was in San Diego last weekend, that I was doing this, and she says, "Oh, you're my father. I don't even know about stuff like that."
Look at him during that time. This man talking now. Look at him. Now, he don't want, all of them refuse to say it because they don't want people to remember the bad memories. But for us that our parents are victims of that, We need to know, because that is why most of us are still running back to Jos. You understand? And it's not as if it ends there. Other part of Nigeria as well. But massacre in Jos were so almost every part of the north, they have massacred Igbo. Not this. This is just part of. This is just one. It's not as if the massacre were just only what happened one time. It have happened almost every year. Yet our people are still sticking their neck, moving back. You know, they after they keep on buying you. You are going back. Keep on buying you. You are going back. Listen.
I didn't know what to say, but I did talk to her about it a little bit, but I didn't even talk to her in detail about it. I just kind of brushed it off, to be honest with you. But yeah, I probably should tell him about that.
No, I have never talked publicly for what I did when I transferred people to Nugu.
And why haven't you talked publicly about it?
I don't know if anyone was interested. I don't recall, after all these years, I don't recall anyone ever asking me about the tithe.
Wow. Wow. So the same thing.
Thoughts of being judged
All
for
of them.
what they did or did not do also factored into the silence.
When you look back at it and you think, why didn't I do that differently? Wouldn't it have been better had I done this? You know, second thoughts.
You fly by the seat of your pants or by the grace of God in times like this. We had no training, no experience. And when that landed in our lap on that morning of September 21, we had no resources except to pray that God gives wisdom and help us to do the right thing and not cause more harm and more damage.
I don't know if we felt guilty about what happened. I don't know if we would say it was guilt. It was a sadness, depression maybe.
It's traumatic to tell because I know that there were people who didn't make it.
No, I don't believe it's affected my faith. It's questioned as to why bad things.
These are people that witness it. You can see the feelings.
The role of a missionary in the time of genocide is to minister to human needs. Because we want to live out our Christianity. And if we really live it out, I think most of us really believe that it's going to make a difference. This is Christianity action. We love our brothers, we talk about it, and now we're showing that we do.
I had grown up watching missionaries live their faith, live and practice biblical principles. I watched missionaries in this time of genocide do what they were called to do, what they had always done. I would have been shocked if the missionaries had.
So that is the video. That is the video. But even at that, people are still, you know, believing that everything is normal. We should just continue to forget about it and forget it. Now, let's go to the comment section. Okay, so we can see the reaction of people about it. This one said, what was the cause of the genocide? There are casualties in war. You lose or you win. Then the person replied that I said, that was before the war. This happened before any war started. So it's not as if this happened in the in the middle of the war or something like that. It's not. It's not. Before the coup, the effect of the war started killing, mocking. Okay, I think what it means is Southerners. White people during the white people are mock after the coup. Then the one said, go on. The go on said this year, just this year, that he started the war, that he was forced to start the war. But here you are telling another man's history with lies. Now, the
Days, we felt strongly that we should
to use just to see if he can, you know, make mockery of Igbo people, thinking that he's making sense. He just after listening to this video, tell me how it makes sense. You can see his name, Mighty Mohammed. Now he said, Ndi Igbo are always playing victim, and Ojukwu started the war for personal interest. Here, the missionaries recalling the massacre of Igbos in Jos, 1966, by the people of Jos. Today, that they are buying people in Jos. Today, that they are buying people in Jos, bandits are, dealing with them. Who are the people calling for peace, asking them for helping hand, believing that you are talking to our fellow Christians? Ndi Igbo. Who are buying them? the people that they believe they are fighting for them, they are together and all that. They are the one buying them. All those things is what we need to understand, because what is happening in the northwest and the northeast, all those things could be spiritual, because after committing those nonsense atrocities they have committed, they don't feel any, because go on is not even from Fulani, like heart. I don't know, but I was told that he's not a Fulani man. I think he's an Hausa man. I don't know if he's a Christian or not. I'm not sure. All right, but he's not from the so-called kingmakers, which is the Fulanis. But the same region where he come from today, he is running helter skelter. Because of what? Because the same people that he shielded, the same people that he were protecting, the same people that he were fighting for them to, for them to keep, they are not turning against his own people before his eyes, and he couldn't do anything. Everything happened for a reason. I'm not saying that I'm supporting the buying of anybody. I'm not preaching violence. I'm not supporting anybody to, but what I'm trying to say is that these are the experiences of our people in the north, one of it. And today, Igbos are building mansions, opening businesses in the same place that they have massacred. You can see the facial appearance of those missionaries when they try to remember what happened to Igbos in the north. It's not as if you don't have people that witness these things. We have them, and some of them are still alive, some of them are no more. But is it that they did not tell their children what they went through in the north? Why is it that they came back, they managed to, run away, that some of them that survived, they came back and they failed to tell the story? Nobody knows what happened. Nobody, if you are telling what we are listening now, if you don't have, you know, spirit of God in you, you will see the kind of video and just wave it. That was 96. After all, the video and pictures, it looks black and white. So this is a thing of old. We should forget about it. I'm not saying you should remember it, but it's good for you to remember. I'm not saying you should not forgive, but you should not forget. All right. Somebody asked this guy that posted this, how does what you said correspond with the video? Because you are telling people that Igbos are playing victims, whereas you are publishing a video that confirming the massacre of the Igbos. It doesn't make any sense. Now, Udochukwu said it was the parent that made Ojukwu and Gowon travel to Ghana to settle the scores. And after the Aburi Accord was cancelled by Gowon, Ojukwu declared Biafra and Gowon started the war. I hate to engage with all this ethnicity bigots that does not read history before arguing. That is our brother there. Now, This one said, I am so very much glad that you mentioned Jos, which is Gowon's region right now. Now, can you be so kind to remind us what happened on the 25th of December 2023, precisely Christmas Day in Plateau State, and what Gowon did about it? I eagerly awaiting your reply. That is when they buy the same people in the north that have massacred the Igbos in numbers in the past, just because they have one kind of hatred or another. Today, their so-called brotherhood are now the one going after them. Now, this country that everybody is so proud of. And okay, before I go there, let me read more comments. All right, it is the victor who tells the story when he cannot twist the narrative, he turned to propaganda. Exactly. Sometimes, if the middle belt start crying about the north, I just what is crying about what they have, especially in the hand of bandits and terrorists. I just smile and say in my mind, we will never see anything, because this one seems to understand what happened in the past. So the anger is still there. Then Chidubembo said, those that think that what happened in the past can happen today, if Nigeria and Biafrans go that path again, is dreaming. Okay, we are going to end the comments now. Let me show you what British people actually think. Okay, I why is that? I sorry, I am not seeing any just now. Okay, I was not able to see any comments. Now I can see that Diana is here. Let's say good afternoon and good afternoon to Kai Report and every Jamie Biafran freedom fighters on the platform on the program. Thank you, Diana. Thank you so much. Godwin said he has Christian from Jos. He is Christian. He is a Christian from Jos. He is going everywhere praying for Nigeria not to break. So he's a Christian, and he did what he did. Just imagine that. That's why Christianity sometimes. I'm a Christian. Don't get it twisted. I'm not a traditionalist, but sometimes we need to, adjust a lot. What they did to Igbo people, hmm, a Muslim president can never allow it to happen to any Muslim community. Never, never. They will not, and that is a sign of law. Even if they want to go as a Christian, you should do better. But why am I even blaming him? He was under the people that brought the Christianity, which is Britain. We are going to let me bring their own matter now, because they also made comments during that time, and they were bragging and telling people why they don't want their fans to go. So I think we need to bring it up. I need to bring it up. I think YouTube is not happy with this video, with this my video. They are not happy. They're tampering on the view and everything. I can see I only 3434, but when I check inside, I can see some people and some numbers. Anyway, these are what you experience if you're talking about Biafran freedom. Before I started broadcasting, when Maslam Lucano and some other Biafrans that have been broadcasting before, when they said that they are paying them, they are stopping view, they are reducing the number, I was thinking that maybe it's not true. But ever since I started this broadcast and publishing videos, I can tell you that everything that they have said is actually fact. So especially Facebook is own is too obvious. Anyway, I'm not here to mourn about it. Um, Now, this is the this man happened to be prime minister during 1964 to 1970. That was when the prime minister that supervised the massacre of Igbo people, of Biafrans. Look at him. This is what he said. I just want to show you the picture because I don't know how to make the write up to be more brighter. I think the best thing for me to do is to read it. Let me read one of his quotes during that time, and he said, "the the the dead bodies of 500,000 Biafrans will not force the British to change her policies concerning the Nigerian civil war. the Biafran nation cannot be allowed to be, for we cannot be allowed to be, for we do not trust what they will become with their vast resources around the Russians and French. Okay, Harold Wilson, that's the name of the man, UK Prime Minister 1964 to 1970. That they don't want to allow their friends to be because they don't trust what they can be, okay, with the vast resources around them. That the fear could be that the Russians will somehow, form alliance with their friends, or France. Okay? That was their fear. That was the fear. That was the fear they had about it. Okay, let me see. Let me see. The fear is too much actually. They were thinking about what the Biafran could be or what they may do. Okay, during that time. At the same time, they don't want other people to help them to do. Since you cannot help them, why are you not? Why is it difficult for you to allow? Why is it difficult for you not to allow them to be? Okay, it is absolutely crazy to allow 25 million Biafrans with more oil than Kuwait to fall into the hands of Russia. British government said the decision of British government to supply arms to Nigeria government to murder over 3.5 million Biafrans because of economic interest is moral wrong. The decisions resulted the murder of millions of Biafran. Genocide was committed against the people of Biafra. That is what this document said. Okay, let me read the comment. I think I need to conclude this video. Like I said, I don't want it to be too long. Now it's more than 30 minutes. Now it's more than 30 minutes. God, you just deleted the message that I wanted to read. You said before then he is a okay. You just deleted the message, so I saw it. I wanted to read it, but you have deleted it. So that is it, my people, and we need to bring more of this kind of video. I will bring more of this kind of video because since for people that own the platform to attacking this stream, for them to attack this video, this my broadcast, simply means that this video have a lot to play in our life. Okay. We are going to come to an end of this broadcast. We will laugh again. I will laugh again. Let me see, because the video I wanted to have just 20 minutes video, but now it's 30 something minutes. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for those of you that managed to be live half an hour. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Please share this message and like the video so that it will now push the people that own the platform to allow other people to come to watch the video, to hear what the missionary said. All right, but I don't know if some of you managed to hear what they said actually. I don't know if they managed, or do I need to play it one more time before I leave? I have the time. So let me see.
Days, we felt strongly that we should keep this information away from students. I see it now and I look at it as a lost opportunity that it would have been well if I had taken a different position, but I understand why I did what I did.
As missionaries and MKs returned home for furlough, college, retirement, they still shared little about what happened in Nigeria in 1966.
Even when we have gone just to speak in churches, I don't think we've mentioned anything about the genocide.
People kept it to themselves because of the fact that I don't think they wanted to bring out a bad memory. And it was a very bad memory of what happened.
It was painful to remember, and you didn't like to speak so much in terms of the sensational and, here's a really wild experience, and people find it difficult to understand, and you have to explain so much about it.
I don't think I ever talked about what happened in Jos. It's not something you want people to know much about, I would think, especially if you're speaking to a women's group and you want support for your mission group. I couldn't understand why when I would talk about some of the things, I would get a blank stare or a stifled yawn.
Well, I mentioned it to my daughter when I was in San Diego last weekend that I was doing this, and she says, "Oh, you're my father. I don't even know about stuff like that." And I say, but I did talk to her about it a little bit, but I didn't even talk to her in detail about it. I just kind of brushed it off, to be honest with you. But yeah, I probably should tell them about that.
No, I have never talked publicly for what I did when I people to Nugo.
And why haven't you talked publicly about it?
I don't know if anyone was interested.
From just the interview.
I don't recall, after all these years, I don't recall anyone ever asking me about the time.
Did or did not do also factored into the silence.
And you look back at it and you think, why didn't I do that differently? Wouldn't it have been better had I done this? Second thoughts.
You fly by the seat of your pants or by the grace of God in times like this. We had no training, no experience. And when that landed in our lap on that morning of September 21, we had no resources except